We can speak now to Joseph Moreno, a former US Department of Justice prosecutor. Welcome to you. Thanks very much for being with us. How worried do you think Donald Trump's defense team should be by these supposed claims by John Bolton in this book?
Well, I would say at this point a moderate level of worry. Look, if you asked me this question 3 days ago about where this trial was going, Lucy, I would say it was coming to an abrupt end probably by the end of this week. But with the revelations from John Bolton that came out on Sunday night, it really throws things into a tizzy now, both in terms of the process of the trial and, of course, the substance and where it could go. Obviously, his testimony could be firsthand. He could say that the president specifically told me directly about his thoughts about aid to Ukraine. He could have secondhand testimony. He could have his own documents or his own emails or his own text messages. So the fact that he has raised his hand and said, look, I have relevant information opens the door to basically endless possibilities about who else and what else could corroborate what Ambassador Bolton is saying.
Of course, he's not going to give any evidence unless the Republicans, or at least 4 of them, agree that he and others can do so. Do you think that is looking increasingly likely to happen when that vote comes around on Friday?
I would say 50-50 at this point. And I note the caveat that you just played from that clip from what Senator Romney said. He said, I support hearing from John Bolton, but I also support the idea of both sides calling witnesses. And I think that's where this could break down. If it was a straight vote just about calling John Bolton, probably you get the 4 Republican senators. But if they tie it to say, okay, we will give you John Bolton, but we want to hear from Hunter Biden or Joe Biden or the whistleblower or Adam Schiff, that's where I think you could see a lot of Democrats say, you know what, I'm not signing up for a tit-for-tat kind of agreement like that. And so that's where I think if this fails, it's because of conditions put on saying, look, if we're going to hear from witnesses, let's hear from a bunch of witnesses. And I don't really think either side wants that.
Do you think, personally, that unless witnesses are called, unless documents are subpoenaed, that this is pretty pointless?
Well, I mean, people feel very strongly on both sides of that. The Democrats, no doubt, have an extremely high threshold to reach 67 votes, and no one in this town thinks they're going to reach that threshold. So you could say, on the one hand, this is pointless because the conclusion is predetermined. On the other hand, though, people in good faith really feel that even if the ultimate vote is to not remove President Trump, it's important to get this information to light. People feel very strongly that what he did, maybe not, if not perhaps criminal, was wrong. And that even if Republicans choose not to remove him, it's important that the public understands what President Trump is alleged to have done. And of course, then it becomes fair game for the political campaign that we will see vigorously begin the day this trial ends.
OK, fascinating. Joseph Moreno, thanks very much for being with us.